now. So thanks everyone for joining. We're doing a presentation today to introduce you to the International Realty Firm Mortgage Program. So these guys are experts. They've been doing it for a very long time. We've made a partnership with them. So this benefits our agents. Everyone can get a referral fee, 25% referral fee just for bringing these guys into the loop. Whether your client uses them or not, it's always a good idea to introduce them. They might get a much better rate than they would anywhere else, as well as these guys are professionals at this. Excuse me. And why not also have a chance to make some extra money for yourself as on a referral fee? So this is, I'm going to introduce Jason Singh, Shisha Maharaj, and Minesh Thakar. So I'll let you guys take it away. And if everyone could just put it on mute in the meantime, then we're going to do questions and answers at the end.
Great.
Thanks very
Kyle.
Good.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We're super excited to actually start this relationship with International Realty. My name is Jason Singh. I've been in the mortgage broker business 20 years. We funded over $1 billion myself in my career, and we founded a company called Real Mortgage Associates and Broker One. I'm the chairman of that company, and I just wanted to welcome you guys to the family. And I'm going to pass it on to Minesh Thakar and Sisha Maharaj, who will be directly dealing with your account, all the agents. I will be also working with you guys. But let me just pass that over to Minesh, and Sisha will take you guys through the presentation.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for having us, and look forward to getting to know you guys a little bit better as we go. And personally and you know, with business as well. Now, if you guys have any questions that come up, because things do come up, you guys have live deals, blah, 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 please put it in the chat. We'll address your questions as we get to them. So feel free, there's a chat button at the bottom. Just go to it, put your questions in there, and we will make sure that we address them. So what we want to work on is not only just giving you guys, you know, we talk about best rate. You know, when a client first comes to you, client first comes to us, they want the best rate. When a client comes to you, you get something very similar in terms of find me this house for this unrealistic price and sell my house for this unrealistic price. So they come to us for the same kind of reasons. But then how we get to know them is through education, right? And this is where we separate being professionals from just order takers. And that's where we want to be with you guys as well, as provide value to you guys. And at the end of the day, help you grow your business by being a reflection of your business, being a professional partner, and making you guys look good at the end of the day and helping you close deals. Okay, so we have, here's what you can expect from us. Okay, and the main thing is going to be communication and service. We understand that the most important thing is clear communication, keeping you guys up to date, service, right? We're going to make sure that if you refer a client to us, we're going to make sure that we call them right away, same day, and we can promise competitive products and creative solutions. And we'll get into that a little bit more. And as Kyle mentioned, you do, only for IRF realtors, you will get 25% of our commission on your referred client. So there's definitely an opportunity to make a little bit more money. As mentioned, we also have Sisha Maharaj, which is going to get into some stuff with you guys as well, and touch a little bit more on the communication piece of things.
Thanks so much, Minesh. So maybe we can move it to the next slide. So just a little bit of background for those of you who we didn't meet at the awards ceremony. So my name is Sisha Maharaj, and I've been in real estate and financial services also for over 20 years. I actually grew up in real estate. Both my parents are realtors, so we understand what it means when you're working with clients, and we understand what customer service means to you. So I just want to assure you in terms of working with you, whether that be before your client is shopping, during your client deals, or even after the client deals, we'd like to work work with your clients as early as possible. So in addition to, the advantages that, Manesh has already shared, just a little bit about RMA and what we can offer to you to help you offer value to your clients. So some basics for you to understand is that we have a diversity of products, and this is really important because it depends on what your client needs. We would be able to do the research and identify creative options or products that help that client. So we've often been asked, well, what if they already have, a relationship with their bank? They might go into their bank, and that's great. They can absolutely do that. But what I find is when I work with clients, because of my experience, I'm not only thinking about that one deal, but also thinking about their needs and their family needs over the lifetime of this client. So we're really trying to get to know your client to serve them for the long term. So this is a really important differentiation. And they may need different products as they have different moments in their lives. So for example, as their children go to school, maybe they're coming to the golden age and they want to invest in a home or a second cottage, or they want to grow their portfolio, as they want to maybe vacation and take a look at opportunities internationally as well. There's so many different needs that evolve. So the fact that we're able to work with your clients and offer diverse products is really important to make sure we're meeting your client where they have the need. Manny talked about regular and dependable communication on client referrals and live deals. This, I think, is the number one thing I want you to remember, is that once you share your client or introduce your client to us, we will call them the same day. We have a process set up where the emails will be coming in through the website. We get email notification, and we'll be calling your client the same day. Then we follow up within a few days, and then we will follow up with you as well. So you don't have to wonder what's happening with the client. We will take care of them, and we'll also keep you updated on key moments within the file. We also offer something unique, which is complimentary credit advice and repair. During COVID, there's been a lot of different circumstances that people have been facing. What I've been seeing is individuals that have had multiple properties and have been stuck in rising rate scenarios, and it's really impacted their cash flow. And maybe they have had some, tough decisions to make that have impacted their credit. We will be offering all of your clients complimentary credit advice and repair. So it's really great if you could introduce us a little bit earlier on in the process, so that this way we can work with them and help them build back their credit or advise them appropriately. Also, complimentary advice on special deals and rules for your clients. So for example, there are different needs and there are different rules. So if they're working in skilled trades, we have partners there that can support your clients, professionals, self-employed. Manny's going to talk to you a little bit about that. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about newcomers to Canada. I also talked a little bit about, complimentary rate comparison and research. Sometimes, you hear about different rates, but it may be for a specific scenario or a specific credit file. So it's really important that we get to talk to them to make sure we can give them the right rates for the right situation that they're dealing with. And finally, I think this is our secret weapon that we can offer you, is a network of professionals. So this includes legal support, appraisals, insurance advice, again, only if it's needed. If you have your own networks or your clients are already supported in those areas, that's great. We wanted to let you know, though, there's actually a huge value, especially on the legal team, and to have some reliable legal advice when you need it. It can actually make or break your deal. So we have amazing, reliable, professional network of professionals that can assist you. And overall, what we're here to help you do is to serve your clients in the moments that matter to them. Next slide,
Great.
Manny.
Yeah, thank you. So I know you touched on the customer service aspect already and went through that. So there's obviously challenging situations that we all see today. Okay. And I'm sure you guys hear about it when you get buyer clients, seller clients, lease clients. 50% of people get divorced, right? So that's always going to be something there, separated, divorced. You have people that are going through the in-between stages, and that's where we can really provide some value as well, because not everybody has finalized their situations. So the advice at that point in time is very valuable. Obviously, you have people that have bruised credit. There's job loss going on, the stress test and affordability. How do we, what products do we have to go against that? The business for self, which I'll touch on a little bit more in the next slide. New to Canada, okay, that still applies to a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of buyer clients that you're getting. Second home products, unique subject properties, okay, cottages, 3-season cottages, whatever you have. And something that's become a lot more popular that Sish is going to speak about is reverse mortgages and how that may be able to help you and solve some issues. Okay, so we talked about recently separated divorce. There are some programs out there that, you know, don't need the separation to be finalized prior to funding a mortgage. Now, there's obviously caveats to that, but each situation is you know, graded on its own merits. Who makes more money, blah, blah, blah. There's lots of stuff that goes into it. Bruce credit. Okay, we're talking about we can get a deal done with 1 day out of bankruptcy. If somebody's within a consumer proposal, we can refinance possibly to pay out the proposal, okay, and continue on as long as they've made their payments on time to the trustee. So there's lots of stuff that we can get into with credit. And if they're not ready credit-wise, we can coach them, and we do have tools that we can offer them that will help them with their credit. Okay, now self-employed. This is something that I've loved doing personally, and somewhere where brokers can do things that bankers really can't. We have unique products for self-employed people. Okay, now these same people will go into their bank and be discouraged because of all the paperwork they're asked for. They figure out that what they're declaring to the government is their income that will qualify them for the mortgage. On our side, it doesn't work like that. We have other institutions besides banks. Now, banks do have their own unique products, which we do have, but some of what we have will use their cash flow. Okay, so for example, to get their 12 months business banking statements, we'll use their gross income that's been deposited over the last year, you know, minus reasonable expenses, which will not be the same as what's used to declare to the CRA. And they're able to use a higher qualifying income. Now, instead of saying that that's a discouraging thing, because when we have these products, sometimes they come at a higher rate, sometimes 1% above bank rates, and maybe includes a lender fee as well. Say, well, you know, that's not great, but guess what? When you're self-employed, like all of us here on the call are, you're able to write off a percentage of your home expenses, okay, because you get to work from home. So let's say you can write off 20%, okay, of your home as home office, okay? That also includes 20% off your mortgage interest. So if your interest rate, let's say is let's just make numbers easy. Let's say at the bank your mortgage is 4%, okay? But because you're self-employed, we have to go to an alternative lender. Your rate is 5%. Well, your effective rate, because you can write off 20%, is actually still 4%. Right? So it's just looking at it with the right lens. And that's where when we can speak to self-employed people, we can make sense of their situation because they are very unique. Every business is unique, whether they're incorporated, it's a partnership, sole proprietorship. There's always different situations. And when we get into rate affordability and the stress test, we have a number of lenders that will do extended debt ratios, okay, including a couple banks. There's credit unions that may use contract rate and you know, not use the stress test. And we have alternative lenders that will go up to, you know, 60% of the total debt servicing and sometimes even higher. So there's lots of stuff that we can get into, but there's lots of products, and I'm going to hand the next slide over to Sisha.
Thanks, Manny. So I'm going to focus a little bit more around some scenarios that have been challenging through COVID. And, you know, as you're retouching base with some of your existing clients or talking to new clients, they may not have the confidence in terms of what they're able to afford, or they may have dreams of investments, rentals, pre-construction condos, or helping their children, but they're just not sure what they're able to do. So this is where we come into play, where we can help these clients, even clients who have had job losses, or they've maybe changed jobs. that has affected their incomes. We have special products right now and special arrangements with some of our lenders and some of our alternative financing partners where they will work with individuals that have had faced job losses. And we can restructure the mortgage or the finance for them so that it actually prepays their mortgage for a year to give them a little bit of buffer, but leveraging the equity in their home. So this is one area where I've had a lot of conversations with individuals, and we've been able to protect their home. They've been able to stay in their home as they build back their credit, find a new job, or get some more experience in their current job that they're in. So this does exist, and there is hope for individuals that have a changing in their job or changing in their income. As long as we've got some equity to play with in their home or in their assets, then this is an opportunity for you to talk to those clients. It's also an opportunity when you're doing your customer calls, reaching out to your database, checking in on your previous customers. These are things that we can learn about, and we can talk to them to help them build back their hope, whether they want to buy, as I said, another investment, protect their current investment, or if they just need to hold on to that until you sell it for them. Those are options that a lot of people are not aware of, and they actually might impact their credit and lose their homes. I was speaking to a client recently that had 3 homes, had some issues with their tenants, and they were juggling these 3 payments of their tenants, as well as their own properties. And we were able to work with them to pull out some equity by actually looking at all their properties to pull out the equity so that they could actually save their rental property from that situation. Also want to talk to you about new Canadians or individuals that are new to Canada. So you may have seen the news, taking a look at newcomers to Canada. Right now there are close to 1 million new immigrants in Canada, with a number of new immigrants getting their permanent residence each year. So as you're working and farming your neighborhoods or your communities, this is a very important population that we need to serve, and we also need to understand what is feasible for these individuals. So first thing first, it is possible for someone with PR who's new to Canada to buy a home. I specifically specialize in this area, helping newcomers to Canada settle, helping them to build their finances, and helping them to buy their homes. A lot of people are not sure, if they are able to buy. So as long as you have a PR and you have been in Canada at least a year, where you have some history here, whether that be you're paying your rent, or you have 2 credit obligations, then if I have that information, then yes, they can make a down payment to buy a home. They can do an insured mortgage or a conventional mortgage. There are different rules depending on how much percentage they have down. So something that is important to know is that once they're new to Canada, as long as they've gotten a job just within 3 months, so if they've passed their probationary period, and they can show me, a little bit about like their previous employment from back home, and they've had some income that they can prove that where that money came from their down payment, we can definitely work with them to help them buy their first home. If they have more than 20% down, okay, in that case, they can also not only buy their owner-occupied purchase, but they can also buy a rental property. However, they need to have at least 35% down for them to do that. So it has to be 35% down in that case. In terms of the opportunities and the type of property, we can talk about that, but you can imagine it's regular owner-occupied homes. If they've got 35% down, we can even look at a cottage, a recreational home. There are different solutions there for them as well. The other piece that I think is really important for you to advise when you're speaking with newcomers to Canada is to talk to us as early as possible, because there could be decisions that they make that would help them build their credit and improve their credit worthiness. Also, I can accept things like gift letters, but it depends on the type of amounts that they're looking at. And I would also just mention that for insured properties with less than 35% down, we're looking at properties under $1 million for their first owner occupied in Canada. So the news here for you to remember is that if you have your PR, you've been in Canada less than 5 years, you qualify for the Newcomer to Canada program in many of the banks and many of the institutions. So it is possible to buy not only your first home, but a second home based on their down payment. The other thing to remember is that we can also work with them to assist them to building that credit longer term. And then finally, I think that, what's also exciting for newcomers, they actually have extended ratios. I was surprised to see, Manny, actually, how great this is. So the benefit of being a newcomer is that the banks and the institutions understand you're new. You may not have a lot of credit, so they will use like reference letters from your banks back home. They will take a look at bank statements. They will ask for, 6 months of banking history. However, you may not need to have that established credit that other, Canadians may need to have for their file. So there's some good news here that we want to promote and help newcomers coming to Canada to get into their first home quickly and even to start investing quickly. We're going to talk a little bit about pre-construction in our next webinar, but that's a great opportunity for individuals who are coming to Canada, who've just gotten their PR. Maybe they've got family, that are going to school here, etc. There are opportunities for them to invest in pre-construction once they are on that path. Then the next one I wanted to talk to you a little bit about was some really interesting and creative solutions for your clients, all of your clients, any of your clients who are interested in buying a cottage or a second home. However, maybe that property might have a unique situation or scenario. Just dealt with a property for a client who was looking to buy a cottage on an island up north. And you can imagine that it's going to be quite different. The subject property is going to have quite different facilities there that may cause issues with traditional lending. However, there are some opportunities for us to leverage, again, some equity in the primary home or equity in order for them to purchase their cottage or a second home that has some unique needs on that subject property. And this is also a little bit about reverse mortgage solutions as well. So for those of you who are working with clients who are over 55 with equity in their home, this is a great solution for them to be able to take equity out of their home tax-free to buy a second home, to buy pre-construction, maybe to help their children buy their first home. So when you're speaking with your clients and they're planning on legacy planning, maybe they're comfortable now, they want to buy investments or they want to grow their portfolio for their families, a reverse mortgage is very, very unique, but it has changed. It's very compassionate right now. And we're working with some really great lenders with very flexible options where you can take tax-free money out of your principal home to buy an international property, to help your children, as I mentioned, to make further investments. So those are just some of the areas I wanted to talk to you about that we're seeing coming up with clients who have changing needs. Hopefully this will be useful, as you're speaking to your clients, whether they're, new clients or existing clients, and you want to talk to them about where their needs are, where their goals are. These are some things, that you can hold in the back of your mind. And I would be happy to chat with, any of these clients further on their specific needs. Manny, back to you. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, guys, there's a question in the chat. It kind of falls along on this from Azim Zaidi. Basically, what are the options for people who have a high down payment, probably around 50%, interested in upgrading and self-employed? So we can chat about that a little bit. Once you have more than 50% down, kind of puts you in a different status with the banks. So they also do allow extended ratios. There's also non-income qualifying products. And there's a number of options for people who have 50% down. So I just want to talk about that. Manny, you can actually touch on that as well, but let me pass that over to you. I just want to answer
Sure.
question.
Yeah, so when it comes to the banks, when you have over 50% down, you may not want to put all the 50% down. There's programs that are at 65% loan to value. Okay, so 35% down, and you hold the rest back and you may qualify for a net worth program. Okay, so there's net worth programs that have a minimum amount. The lowest one that we have, I believe, is 150,000 in liquid assets. We also have lenders that will use the equity in other properties as qualified net worth. It just depends on where we're going with it and if they're self-employed, salaried, what have you. There's also programs where we can use the net income after taxes, okay, and add that back to their personal income. So that works for a lot of professionals, doctors, dentists, all the rest of it, where they're incorporated. They pull a personal income T forward, and then we add their net business income that's usually stuck in retained earnings back to their income for qualification.
Yeah, and Manny, just to slow it down for a little bit about, we were talking about the net worth program. So guys, Manny was talking about the net worth program and having up to a minimum of $150,000. that actually means some of the banks will lend dollar for dollar over and above of what you qualify for. So if somebody makes $35,000, they may only qualify for, I don't know, $100,000 mortgage, $150,000 mortgage, but they might have $500,000 in net in assets. Well, now they're going to add an additional $500,000 dollar for dollar, so they can have $650,000 worth of mortgage. So basically, what they're saying is whatever you have in the bank, we'll match that dollar for dollar over and above what you qualify for. Right, Manny?
That's correct. And it's also not held as security, right? Because that does come up. People say, okay, well, are they lending against my assets? No, not really. They just want to see that you have them.
Yeah, and the assets could be stocks and bonds, it could be mutual funds, could be cash in the bank. It can be RRSPs, GICs, TFSAs, any registered funds that people have. We can use that and increase the mortgage, and that's a very cool trick. Go ahead, Manny.
Very unique product. And as Sisha said, when they are self-employed and they have the big down payment as well, then you're talking about extended ratios within the banks as well. So lots of cool stuff out there. We have more coming for you guys as well. I know this is more a little bit in the weeds with products and all the rest of it. We just want to touch on it. But maybe Jason, you can touch on the upcoming webinars.
Well, one of our upcoming webinars will be with Mr. Hunter Milbourne. He's a legend in this pre-construction space. He sold over $90 billion in pre-construction in his career. And we're doing a very, very curated experience for all the International Realty members. Kyle has brought him on board, and we're going to be doing some super VIP releases with you guys. But he's also just going to come on and talk to you about, a little bit about selling pre-construction, pros and cons, any type of questions you guys have. It's a great webinar. We're going to be really happy to bring him on. He's going to do a nice question and answers afterward. There's another question here. Do you do pre-approvals for pre-construction purposes? Yes. So we do. So reach out to one of us. We will love to do that. We will take care of your clients. It's one of the services that we do provide for our realtors. So you can reach out to any of us, and we do help with getting the clients pre-qualified so you can make that sale. So go ahead, Manny. I know you're going to get into questions.
No. That was a mistake.
Yeah, so you can definitely, all of us, everybody here, Manny, Sisha, and myself, we are all very, very versed in closing pre-construction and the process, what to look out for, what not to look out for. Pre-construction is a big one now, guys. Yeah, it's anywhere between 5 and 6% commission. You get 3% up front. So it's between 2 and 3% up front, depending on the project, and 2 to 3% on the back end. So it's very, 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 very lucrative, and I think you guys should be looking at it right now. In addition to that, we're getting a lot of perks. So we're getting cap levies, you're getting ability to rent out early. Some places even giving you parking for $5,000. Some places are giving you free parking. They're giving you free lockers. We never used to see these type of things before. So, I think we should take advantage of it now, sell them, and make that money, because even the down payments now used to be 20-25%. You can tie up condos right now with 5% to 10% down over 2 years, over 3 years. So it's very, very cool. So I'll pass it back to Manny. But our next condo, our next new webinar, Mr. Hunter Milbourne is going to lead that charge.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay. And after that, we also have a really good connection with Vantage Law, and we can bring on Alessandra from Vantage Law to answer some legal stuff that's, relevant now. One of the topics we've covered before, I had a question for her, and she really went through a lot of stuff with me, because you have a lot of people that don't qualify on their own anymore. So now they're looking at buying properties, with a friend, 2 couples buying together. What are the implications of that? Because as you guys know, sometimes it all sounds like a good idea till one person wants to sell and the other doesn't. So what are the implications? What can you do to protect each person or entity within the transaction? But anyways, I can't even talk on that. That's why we have lawyers and legal experts on our team. But that's just one of the things that we could touch on. We also want to do a webinar about marketing tips. A lot of us that are in this industry, what we're used to is hunting. We're always hunting for the next deal. Okay, let's hunt for the next client, hunt for the next purchase, hunt for this, hunt for that. That's what we do. Okay, but we forget about the gathering. Okay, we can become farmers, and we all have databases. How small or large they are doesn't matter. What matters is actually staying in touch with them, because you never know what somebody's thinking about, staying top of mind. What are the best strategies to do that? You know, do people read their email anymore? What is the best way to stay in touch with people? And what are some creative ways to stay in touch? And we'll do that. And we may be able to have a guest speaker for you there too. Home buyer, first-time home buyer seminars, we can do those. Maybe we'll do one. I'm just thinking off the fly right now, but maybe we could do one over at the office where you guys can invite people in person, all your clients, and we can do that in person so that you guys can invite your clients there. It's a personal experience. It'd be nice for them. Instead of a webinar, we could do something like that. And then finally, something that we want to do that will be fun to get to know some of you guys is a summer barbecue social. You know, we got to take advantage of these summers. I know the eclipse was fun and all, but you know, we don't have to get blinded every day to have a good time. So let's we'll have a little barbecue, and we'll send some information out to you guys as the plans come together. And I know we've had a few questions in the chat, but you guys can, if you have any more now, please feel free, put them in the chat or unmute yourself and just shoot.
Yeah, guys, great job. I just wanted to say one thing as well. So like the value to realtors having this in-house team is obviously, of course, the referral fee, so you can make some extra cash on basically all of your deals, even refinances. So clients that you've had who are not buying or selling right now, it's good to keep in touch and then let them know that by contacting you, you have access to a really expert mortgage team that can help them with all this stuff, as well as you know, having your first and your only call to like an in-house expert team that you trust. And then, like, you know, once you build a relationship with these guys, I'm confident that you're going to trust them, and it can be like your first and only call, which simplifies. You know, if you get into a high stress situation like multiple offers, or you have a very short financing condition, it helps to have your go-to team where you can be confident with your client on that offer date. Or if you're doing a showing and then all of a sudden there's offers that happens really quickly, you need to have you know, an expert team instead of searching around for a bank and stressing out your clients. So this is that's really important to have, and people that you trust. So I encourage everyone to build a relationship, and it's really simple. If you want to just if you want to apply for this, all you have to do is just go to our website, internationalrealtyfirm.com/mortgages, and enter your name and contact info, either yourself or your clients, and then we'll make sure that the referral fee comes to you as well. So yeah, use these guys as your trusted financial advisors, and reach out to them anytime.
Appreciate it, Kyle. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
everybody
Kyle.
Yeah. Sorry, we have a mortgage here. Can you explain the scenario for a prepaid mortgage for 1 year that you mentioned? Sisha, you want to take that one?
Sure. So, you know, in terms of that client, we would actually be taking a look at the equity in the home. And what the lender does is that they lend up to 65% of the value of the home. And what they would do is add the principal, interest, and taxes of the payments as part of the mortgage. So that's generally the concept of how they would lend on that.
And they would actually go up to, like, there is a 2-year version and a 3-year version as well.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And
So,
somebody was asking you guys just to post your contact information in the chat session.
Oh, wonderful. Manny, can you flip the next slide? Because I think we've got our contact information.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Jay. So Renata, if you've got a client who needs that kind of support, or if you want to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to any one of us and we can learn more about the client scenario. So in those scenarios, they normally do 1 year, but as Jay said, there's some lenders now that they will renew a second year and a third year, as long as you know, everything is same on the file, and you know, they haven't had their programs change either. So I would say at least for 1 year, we can do that with the possibility of extending for 2 or 3 years.
You got it.
So here's our contact information, our phone numbers. And if you go on to that link, so just easy for you all to remember, then we will get an automatic email and respond to you within the same day.
Yeah, if there's
Thank you.
any other questions, feel free. You can reach out to us anytime.
And we'll post, you guys will all post our email addresses in the chat. Manny, if you want to put yours and Tisha put yours as well.
Absolutely. And we're in the WhatsApp group as well. So if you guys have questions, you can throw them in the WhatsApp group as well. And we can answer right in there.
Exactly. Once you're in contact as well, these guys will keep you up to date on rates are going down, rates are going up, special promotions for your clients. And of course, like the other webinars that we spoke about, we have got some pre-construction stuff coming up for you guys, and a barbecue in the summer potentially as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for your time. Thanks, Kyle, for bringing us on. Yeah, we're really excited to get going, guys. Don't feel a ways to just to reach out and ask us any type of questions at all, or just message any one of us. We're all working together on this.
Perfect. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Take
Thank
care.
you so much, Kyle, for having us.
You're welcome.
Good luck, everyone.
Okay,
Here,
take care.
guys. Bye.
Bye.